Hey guys, Frost here, welcome back. It's been 2 months since Classic TBC has been released. I've leveled 4 characters to level 70 and I kind of started to feel a bit the burnout. I started to get a bit bored of playing the game, and recently we got some good news. Phase 2 is underway. As you remember, back in June, Blizzard pissed on us without even having the courtesy of calling it rain by releasing a boost on characters and doing a short pre-patch. As you remember, it was only 2 weeks, from which those 2 weeks, like 3 of those were maintenance, just because other games were being released. Now, patch 2, phase 2, it's going to be released probably short in 2 or to 4 weeks, less than a month in my opinion, and my best guess is they're going to release it once the new world MMO, which is scheduled to be released in 31st of August, comes. So I would assume the pre-patch will be somewhere in 29, 20, 30 of August. It's something that Blizzard tends to do whenever a new game is released. They try to release content. It's something that I don't like. That's what they did back in June, and probably that's what they'll do now as well. But if you got a bit bored of the current phase in Classic, there's a lot of new content, and I'm going to go over it. The first thing that I noticed on the PTR is that we have the looking for group tool, which don't get too alarmed. It's not something that will teleport you to dungeon. It's not like the retail looking for group tool. So basically what you do, you select a dungeon, let's say heroic dungeon. I want to do Alcatraz, right? This is one of the dungeons that I want to go. I'm also interested in a normal dungeon, let's say the Black Morass, or the Steam Vaults. And then on a third one, I want to find a raid for Karazhan. And there we go. You have maximum 3 options to do at a time. And we can put here, Humper Mage DPS. There we go. Oh, you can put something more creative, but then you go list self, and you will go into a queue, and from here people will look for more, and let's say like this, and dungeon refresh, and then when they look for more, they can send a message and they can group invite. It's similar to the add-on which is called looking for group finder, that probably most of the people use. And it's going to be similar with this. Probably it's going to help a bit. You go in a queue and then someone whispers you and invites you if they think you are worthy. Now, this is one of the first news, the looking for group tool. Second news, engineering goggles. Engineering goggles are in-game in phase 2. They're on the beta. And for those of you who didn't get the tier 4 helmet, for those of you that... well, even if you have the tier 4 helmet, having the engineering goggles is nice because it allows you to see gas on the map and also increases your stealth detection slightly, which is probably going to be good for Arena. There's an option for heal, of course. There's the rogue ones, which I don't have engineering on my rogue, but I have on my both paladins and my mage. Lots of stats, 48 agility, 4 agility socket bonus, 76 attack power, hit not a lot, only 11, but yet again, nice indeed. Healing goggles, they look nice, all of them. Then you have the Gadget Storm goggles, which I think those are for shamans. And then we have a Sure Strike, well, I guess hunters, the male version. The plate, you have the healing ones, which are pretty OP, and the tankatronic ones, which have 67 stamina, 38 defense rating. 38 defense rating, that's huge. It's going to help you reach defense cap way sooner, especially if you play dodge and hit. I would have liked to have an option with spell power, but it was poorly designed back in TBC. Paladins do require a bit of spell power in order to hold threat, but due to the 67 stamina, meta socket, and a yellow socket, plus a 6 stamina set bonus, it feels like maybe they are really great. And if you have like the tier 4 helmet, you can keep it for threat as well. Then we have the destruction hollow glasses, leather DPS, and cloth DPS. Of course, the healing for male, and the plate red pala ones. 3 plate versions. If they would have added one for tank pala, would have been 4 plate versions. Moving on, something new that it's in the game, the Serpentshrine Cavern and the Eye, the new tier 5 dungeons. Lots of new content there. Make sure to get your attunements done. I'm gonna show them to you right here. I have them on my EU mage. I'm on the last point of each and every one of them. Well, this one is already completed. The Serpentshrine one, it's really easy. You just do Slave Pen's Heroic. You go and pick the quest from a mob there. Then you go kill Gruul and Nightbane. And you go back in and turn it in. So I'm basically attuned. I just need to go inside Slave Pens and turn in the quest. For Serpentshrine, I'm attuned. This one, it's really easy. For Tempest Keep, however, it gets a bit more complicated. You have to go into Shadowmoon Valley, either the Alliance or the Horde base. You complete a quest called Cipher of Damnation. It's a pretty long quest, and it will take you probably an hour, 2 or 3, even 2 hours max to complete it. And then you get to the point where you need to do Trial of the Naru. You come back to Adal. Mercy, which requires you to go into Shattered Halls. Strength, which requires you to go to 2 dungeons. Oh, I actually have the Murmurescence here. So it's Shadow Labs and Steam Vaults. You get 2 items. And then you have a Trial of the Naru Tenacity. And you have to save Millhouse Mana Storm. So the Cipher of Damnation quest from Shadowmoon Valley will lead to those 3 quests. Once you complete all 3 of them, you will get the title Champion of the Naru, and that's how you know that you are attuned to the Eye, Tempest Keep, and be able to go do the gear. In terms of difficulty, I watched last night a stream from Guzu, and he cleared in a pug 5 out of 6 bosses in Serpentshrine, I think. So basically it was Lady Vaj left. It doesn't seem to be that hard, although the content, it's not nerfed. It's like the hard content. So I would assume at the last boss at Lady Vaj, you get that RNG mechanic where someone in the raid gets mind controlled and does lots of damage or heal to the boss. Or if you remember, it was RNG if you were killing Lady Vaj or not, based on if the main tank was being mind controlled or a healer or so on, and you have to apply CC fast to them and so on. Even if the content it's not nerfed, it's not gonna be that hard. We already have min-maxers, we have the best gear, we know how to approach the content and so on. Moving on, because we're making this video too long, one of my favorite mounts in game, it's gonna be, well, this is because druids get their flight form quest, right? And you will be able to summon the Raven Lord and get the Reins of the Raven Lord. One of my favorite mounts in World of Warcraft. Honestly, I never had it. I know, but yet again, this is how it looks. Maybe that's a bad picture. I like the colors. For my mage, I would like it. The blue and the yellow looks like similar to my tier 4, so I would really like to get this mount and move on from that horse that I have on the human side and maybe the undead horse that I have on the... Well, I like the undead horse, but you get the point. Really nice mount. Hopefully we can get one. Just let's hope that people are not gonna make groups with on reserve, hard reserve the mount. The drop chance seems to be like pretty good from what I've understood. It's not that bad. Don't remember, it drops from Anzu, and here it says that I don't know exactly the drop chance, but we'll find out soon. Moving on from the Raven Lord, we have something called Guild Banks. Oh boy. And they're already in the PTR, so I don't really have a guild right now because I just joined on the PTR. But here you have Guild Banks, and once you open this, you get like 98 slots for 100 gold, and then you can buy more. So if you have alts, you can create your own guild. Buy with 100 gold, 98 slots, and you can deposit in that guild a variety of items like investments if you want to do in the future, or rare materials, whatever you want. Now you have a lot of space to deposit. If I show you my bank, it's gonna be filled with gems and everything. Maybe, look at that. I can barely have anything to put. But yeah, this is great news. Guild banks, however you guys will use them in guild, or if you use them for personal gains on an alt, you create a bank and you become like a banker in the game. Another thing we get, it's the Ogri'la and Sha'tari dailies. So Ogri'la dailies, a couple of nice items you will be able to get here, and those are the depleted cloth bracers, which are epic. If you find the depleted cloth bracers and then you add 50 apex shards to this, you will get a pair of bracers with 16 intellect, a red socket with 2 spell power bonus, and critical strike and spell power on them. Really good for PvE. I'm not sure if they're bis, but they're definitely better than anything I saw so far in the game. I think the PvP bracers are not that bad, the epic ones, but those are the PvE versions if you don't want a PvP for bracers. Moving on, the depleted mail gauntlets is the same. You add 50 shards and you get some gloves with 2 sockets and 56. They don't look that great to me, but moving on to the real item, which is the depleted badge. This is the drop that you have to get when you're doing your Ogri'la dailies. And if you get this depleted badge, you're going to get a trinket which increases agility by 150 for 20 seconds. This is going to be best in slot for druid tanks. It's going to cost a lot because it's really rare. And it can also be best in slot for survival hunters and so on. Other things I've seen here is a depleted cloak, which is not worth even getting. There's another dagger, which is not worth getting. A mace, which I don't really like. It could be useful for a tank maybe, but no. Depleted ring, nothing really that great. But I saw something here, which is called a depleted sword, which will have 30 stamina, shield block 11, and 121 spell power. If you get it, then maybe it's worth doing. If not, you can get as a paladin tank the sword from Caverns of Time. It's not a big difference. There was something else here. Yes, there we go. The Ogri'la Aegis, which requires Ogri'la Revered, a shield, which is really nice, defense rating and block value plus 2 sockets. They're red sockets, but if you're playing a paladin or a warrior, probably you're gonna gem stamina or defense rating. If it's pretty good as it's probably gonna be the new pre-best in slot if you cannot get exalted with Sha'tari. A new trinket that increases attack power by 216 for 10 seconds and 7 weapon damage. I don't see it useful. A pair of bracers, which come at Exalted with 20 agility, 42 attack power, and a socket. I think currently people use like the bracers from old Hillsbrad Heroic, like Rogues, Hunters, Druid. I think those will be better than these ones because you have an option to put another socket. A crystalline crossbow, which has 73 damage per second on a 280 speed, can be really good, if not even for rogues and warriors as an offhand. Vortex walking boots, 2 sockets, critical strike rating, great for melee DPS. An orb, which is not that great. You can get the one from Macteridon, which no one wants. It's basically better than this, has more intellect and stamina and more spell power as well. A healing cloak, and a wand that does 12 damage. Nothing that great. Moving on to Sha'tari Skyguards. Finally, we get some new mounts, which are nice. Purple, red, blue, green, silver, the Nether Race. Now, don't get me wrong. Getting to Exalted, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take a while to get Exalted. But if you're sick of that bat mount or that griffin, which it's about time. I think only those 2 factions are going to be available, and no news about Netherwing so far. So if you want a new mount, this is the chance to get one, unless you get lucky with the Ashes of Alar and Tempest Keep, of course. There's also a pet that you can dismiss and summon. There are a bunch of trinkets. There's one for spell power, which has 34 critical strike rating passive, and 50% to increase your spell damage and healing by 80 for 30 seconds when you kill a target that gives experience or honor. This effect can occur more than once every 10 seconds, so proc chance 50% on a 10-second cooldown. If you're grinding a lot, you're probably going to keep the effect up 24/7, which is going to be 80 spell power. There's also, I think, the melee version of this. I cannot seem to find it here. Oh, there we go. The Cross Silver, which has 34 critical strike rating for melee, and 50% chance to increase your attack power by 140 for 30 seconds when you kill a target that gives experience or honor. This cannot occur more than once every 10 seconds. So it's going to be probably 140 passive attack power. I'm not sure exactly how it works at level 70 because you don't no longer get experience from mobs, but maybe it is calculated into the internal thing that when something dies, you activate that. Unless at level 70, I don't know exactly where you get experience from, but that's it. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, stay frosty.